In today's video, I'm going to go over the mortgage appraiser and the appraisal. So let's go ahead and get into it. Who is a mortgage appraiser? So a mortgage appraiser is a licensed professional who assesses the property value. They provide an unbiased estimate of the market value. So they don't have an opinion. This is based on what the market is telling them what the value is. And they are hired by a lender or a third-party appraisal management company. Purpose of the mortgage appraisal. So the purpose is to ensure the property value supports the loan amount. For example, the lender is not going to lend you $1 million if the property is only worth or valued at $900,000. So the appraisal is there to make sure that how much money the lender is willing to provide to you is not exceeding the value, and the value is supporting that loan amount. And this helps protect the lender from overlending. Again, they're not going to lend you more than what it's valued at. You wouldn't lend or any money to an individual for something that's not valued at the amount that they're asking you to lend at. And this is just going to protect the lender. They are only going to lend on the lesser of the purchase price or the appraised value. So if the appraised value comes in lower than the purchase price, then they aren't going to lend at that purchase price. They're going to lend at the lesser amount. And this helps you from overpaying. And I'm going to get a little bit more into that and more into depth later on in the video. Responsibilities of the appraiser. Well, they are going to inspect the property thoroughly. That means that they're going to check the backyard, front yard, the attic, the bathrooms. They're going to turn on all the sinks, all the lights. So they're going to thoroughly inspect the property. Then they are going to research comparable properties. We call them comps. And these are just properties within the neighborhood, typically within a mile radius of the property, that are similar to yours. So if you live like in a tract home area and they're all like same models within their area, they're going to look for that exact same model of your home or similar, and room count, square footage count, and compare it to your property to come up with the value. Now, they also analyze market trends of the neighborhood. So, and the neighborhood, excuse me. So what kind of neighborhood do you live in? Do you live in a high traffic area? Do you live in a neighborhood with great schools, or is the market declining? So all of those are factors when it comes to analyzing the property. And they're going to also locate any necessary repairs. So this is awesome. If there are any repairs that are needed in order to meet the guidelines of the program or that you're looking to apply, whether that be a conventional loan or FHA or VA or whatnot, they're going to make sure that the repairs needed to meet that program guidelines are going to be fixed. And that will be listed on the appraisal report. And you get a copy of this report, so you'll see every type of repair that the appraiser suggests or requires, not even suggests, requires to be repaired before you can close. So this helps you out. And then they go ahead and prepare the appraisal report for you and the lender. Now let's talk about the components of the appraisal. So they're going to have a full property description and condition. So this is important for individuals out there who are looking to sell their home. Your condition of your property will determine how much your home is valued at compared to the other properties in your neighborhood that are like your home. So if your home has a specific high-end countertops, wainscoting, all of the above, and the other property does not, then you're going to get a higher value. But if your home is in a lesser condition, they will state that, like if your home is outdated or the carpets are dirty or, the paint is wearing, then all of that all of those are factors when it comes to the value of your home. Then they are going to do a sales analysis. So every property that they use to compare your property to will be listed on the appraisal report, and they will show you how they come up with certain adjustments to determine the value of your home compared to those other properties or the property you're seeking to purchase. Then they're going to come with the market value estimate. So whatever the market value is, that's what today's market too, not tomorrow's market, not yesterday's market, today's market. They also provide photos, maps, their certificate, because not every appraiser can appraise every home. They have levels for their certification, similar to like a nurse. So based on their experience, they're going to have their certificate in the appraisal, the maps of where your property is located within the neighborhood, photos of the kitchen, of the closets, of the kitchen, bathroom. So all of that is included in the appraisal report. Before we move forward, if you are seeking to get pre-approved, I would love to assist. And as a former underwriter, I've reviewed so many appraisals. It actually helps me when I go over these reports. What I like to do when I get an appraisal report is I like to do Zoom calls. I like to go over the sections of the appraisal that I feel like you should be aware of. Are there any repairs needed? So if you aren't working with an individual who's taking the time out to help explain these things, then go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to assist. You can scan that barcode or go to my website as well as the link within my bio, and I'll help you out. Now let's talk about some of the skills that are required for an appraiser. So analytical and observational skills, 100%. So they must be able to look at certain comparable properties and analyze why your home is valued more than that one. Why is the home that you're seeking to purchase valued lesser or higher? And that requires observational skills to be able to, see those and locate those differences when they're looking at your property and other properties. They also must have knowledge of the real estate market because, for example, there are loan programs that if you're in a declining market, then they cut down the loan to value, how much you can borrow. So depending on the market can determine whether you can even move forward or not on that appraisal. So they have to have some knowledge of how the market is moving in itself, because that will tell them, hey, if the market is doing great and values are going up, then the value of the home may be different than it was 6 months ago because the market is on an increase. So then they can't use a value from what it would have been 6 months ago if the market is increasing. Then they also have familiarity with appraisal methods and tools, and that's where they're certified and they get all of their training and know all the methods and tools that they should be using. And then they must have strong written communication skills because the appraisal report is going to be super detailed. It's going to have a ton of comments that they're typing in. So it must make sense for me, the loan officer, the underwriter, and for you when you're reading it. So they have to have very strong written communication skills. Appraisal's impact on the loan process. So this is where it's going to determine the loan to value ratio. And again, this is because they are only going to lend on the lesser of the purchase price or the appraised value. And if that value comes in lower than the purchase price, then that means you have to cover the difference between the purchase price. And this can 100% affect your loan approval in terms, because if you don't have the funds, then, oh my God, what are you going to do? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to renegotiate. And that's where you should be happy about this appraisal, because you want to know that what you're purchasing is valued at the purchase price or higher. So we never tell the seller that their appraisal comes in higher, but you will tell them when it comes in lower. And that gives you the opportunity to renegotiate. Either they fix the repairs on the property or they change the purchase price, or you totally back out. So that's where this is going to help you moving forward when you get that appraisal report and know all the repairs, the value, all of the above. Now, there are some limitations that an appraiser has. So they cannot set property price. They can only talk about the market value. They have nothing to do with the purchase price, but they will get a copy of that purchase contract, and that will be listed on the appraisal how much that home is listed at being purchased at, and that helps them determine whether you are above or below that price. Okay. Now, they do not guarantee future property value. Again, this is only based on that market value of the day. Okay. And they must remain impartial and follow strict guidelines. They cannot have any type of interest at all in the property. And as a matter of fact, I don't have any contact with them. You, the purchasing borrower, you don't have any contact with them. They're impartial. That's why sometimes they're ordered by a third party company, just to make sure that there is no conflict of interest. In conclusion, the appraisal plays an essential role in safeguarding lenders and you, the borrower. Again, be thankful that this is part of the process and helping you determine if you are purchasing a property at the value that you agreed to based on that purchase price. And they provide a foundation for sound lending decisions for us as a lender to determine, hey, do we want to lend on this property or not? Is it valued there where we feel like it should be valued? So also, all appraisers aren't 100% accurate. You do have an opportunity to rebut if you feel like that value did not come in to where it would be, you feel like it should be. So just know that once that appraisal report comes in, that doesn't mean that it's a solid decision. Now, we do have to provide facts. We do have to provide actual comps that we feel like they did not use. It's just not, hey, I feel like this value should be this. You do have to provide some data to support the value you feel like that appraisal should be at. So just know that you do have that option to rebut when the appraisal comes in. There you have it, the appraisal report. And again, I have looked at so many appraisals as a former underwriter. So if you would like to have a Zoom consultation with me, scan that barcode or go to the link within my bio. I'd love to assist. And please like and subscribe if you feel like this information was useful. If you are an appraiser out there, please comment below. Let me know if I did you justice or not. And if you feel like I missed anything, go ahead and comment below as well. And again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.